Welcome back to The Explainer, everyone. Today, we're diving straight into something absolutely monumental. We are going to visually dissect and really map out the incredibly complex structure of Mustafaİslamoğlu's 14-year-long lecture series on the divine attributes, also known as the beautiful names. It's an extraordinary piece of educational content, and we're going to break the whole shebang down so you can see exactly how it's built from the ground up.
But first, think about it for a second. How do you even begin to navigate hundreds of hours of intricate theology without getting completely lost? When you're faced with a literal mountain of information, your brain craves structure. It needs a roadmap. And that is exactly what we're building today. We are taking raw, unstructured data and turning it into a clear, visual journey.
The sheer scale here is, well, it's pretty staggering. We're talking about exactly 98 individual videos in one massive YouTube playlist. Over the course of 14 years, this highly specific, deeply theological collection has racked up over 250,000 views. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And to truly appreciate the genius of it, we really need to look at how the architect of this course laid out the blueprints.
So here's our roadmap for today. First, a massive educational adventure. Second, the foundation, introduction to names. Third, core names like Lord and Mercy. Fourth, the pairing of divine attributes. And finally, the ultimate goal, constructing man.
Section 1, a massive educational adventure, visualizing the immense scale of the 98 video playlist.
Just look at how these 98 videos are split up. You've got a massive initial chunk, 26 videos to be exact, dedicated entirely to introductions and foundations. From there, the curriculum shifts sequentially into single divine attributes for 33 videos before finally evolving into a highly complex relational study of paired attributes that takes up the final 39 videos. It's this brilliant, deliberate progression from the abstract to the specific and then straight into the complex.
Section 2, the foundation, introduction to names. Why the series spends dozens of hours before the first specific name.
Get this. It takes 19 distinct video parts, running for dozens of hours, just to get through what is titled the Introduction to the Names. This stretches from Lesson 1.1 all the way to Lesson 9.3. Think about that. The speaker delays discussing any specific divine attribute until this massive foundation is fully set in stone. It shows an intense, almost unheard-of dedication to methodological depth. He's effectively telling the audience, look, you cannot understand the specifics until you master the framework.
Now, what's truly fascinating here is the audience drop-off. We see the views literally plummet from 72,000 on the very first introductory video all the way down to just 4,300 views by the time we hit the end of the introduction in Part 9.3. This perfectly highlights the extreme dedication required to survive just the methodology portion of the course. It acts as a rigorous filter, making absolutely sure only the most dedicated students make it to the core teachings.
Section 3. Core names, Lord and Mercy, transitioning into the foundational pillars of the theology.
Checking out the timeline through the playlist, you can physically see the heavy lifting given to these core concepts. After that grueling 15-plus hour introduction, the course drops 7 full hours, lessons 10 through 12, just on the concept of Lord or Rob. And once that's locked in, the timeline blows up into these huge hour-and-a-half blocks dedicated entirely to mercy, specifically Ur-Rahman and Ur-Rahim, in lessons 13 through 16. The structure itself is telling us that lordship and mercy are the central pillars holding up all the other attributes.
Section 4, the pairing of divine attributes, a pedagogical shift to relational and comparative teaching.
So right around the halfway mark, the teaching style completely flips. Instead of looking at names in a vacuum, it starts combining them into single, nearly 2-hour lessons. For example, Lesson 56 pairs the subduer, El-Qahar, directly with the avenger, El-Muntakim. And this isn't random. By teaching these relationally, the course forces you to see how seemingly intense or overlapping concepts interact and how they actually differ within the broader theological framework.
We see this exact same relational strategy pop up again in Lesson 51, but this time comparing complementary names, the living, El-Hayy, and the sustainer, El-Qayyum. By putting them side by side, we realize the course is way past just giving definitions. It's exploring how different facets of divinity dynamically interact. The structure is basically a giant neon sign, saying these attributes don't exist alone. They operate together in perfect dynamic balance.
Section 5,
The ultimate goal, constructing man, uncovering the core thesis of the entire lecture series.
Okay, so what is the ultimate point of all this? The entire thesis of this 98-video beast is actually captured beautifully by Lesson 25. If you scroll through the playlist, Lesson 25 sticks out like a sore thumb. It doesn't have an Arabic divine name in the title like all the others. Instead, it's called Revelation's Construction of Man. And that right there reveals the hidden architecture of the whole thing. Studying the divine names, mapping these attributes, surviving that massive 19-part intro, it is ultimately all about building human character. The theology, that's just the blueprint. The human being is the actual construction site.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. If navigating this massive theological map and spending literally dozens of hours studying these concepts is truly about constructing our own human character, well, which part of your foundation are you going to start building today? Are you still laying the groundwork, or are you ready to engage with the complex relational pairs of your own development? Thank you so much for joining me on this visual journey, and I will see you in the next explainer.